5 simple productivity hacks that could revolutionize your life. 5x your productivity or better. If you're always looking for little things you can do to enhance your output and get a slight edge in life, you're at the right place. Even a 1% increase in your daily productivity can produce significant long-term results. When we recognize this, the motivation to make it happen comes a little easier. Today I want to give you 5 extremely simple productivity hacks that will allow you to accomplish more in 1 year than most people accomplish in 4. These productivity boosters won't just give you a 1% increase in your productivity and effectiveness. I'm talking about 100, 200, and even 500% increases here, just by restructuring your life slightly and making minor adjustments to the way you do things. Pretty exciting, huh? Let's get started. 1. The 80/20 rule. What should you really be doing to achieve your goals quickly and effectively? And what should you not be doing? The 80/20 rule says that 20% of what we do is responsible for 80% of the results we see. The other 80% of what we do are low leverage activities that only bring 20% of the results and therefore should be delegated, outsourced, or at the very least saved for the end of the day. When the high priority tasks are completed, most people have the habit of doing these low leverage tasks first thing in the morning. We check our email, our Facebook notifications, look at statistics, read the newspaper, etc. This is the 80% that brings 20%, or much less, of the results that we desperately want to achieve. You want to be successful, right? Then, why do you make low leverage tasks your priority? We do this unconsciously, of course. We know checking email and Facebook is not productive, but it almost feels like it is. Every time we reply to that email or Facebook message, it's like checking an item off our to-do list. It feels like we've actually accomplished something. This must change if we want to become truly efficient and effective people who achieve our goals with speed and ease. First, you must determine which tasks are in the top 20% and make a commitment to always do these tasks at the start of the day. You also must determine the 80% of things that aren't really that important and make a commitment to delegate, outsource, or move them to later in the day. Let me give you an example of what this can look like. 20% tasks: writing articles, books, etc. Reading educational material. Marketing and promoting products and services. Designing new products to bring to the marketplace. 80% tasks: cooking, cleaning, washing clothes, washing dishes, grocery shopping, replying to emails, checking Facebook, checking stats for business, reading news articles. You see, there are lots of things we do in an average day that are not high-leverage tasks. It's not that any of us are above these things and should never do them. It's just that we could be so much more effective and reach our goals so much faster if we found someone to do these things for us. Even if we have to pay someone, it's worth it. These tasks do very little, if nothing at all, to move us closer to our goals, and so doing them is often a waste of our precious time. The 20% can be broken down even more. The 80/20 rule still applies. Within that 20%, there is another 20% that could be considered ultra high leverage. This is the one activity that you always should do first thing in the morning because it is the one activity that brings you the majority of your results. Make sure to figure out what that thing is and dedicate yourself to making it number 1 on your to-do list. I think you understand the 80/20 rule. Now, just make sure to get out a piece of paper and pen today and write down all the things you do on a daily or weekly basis. Then, separate them into 2 lists: low leverage tasks and high leverage tasks. Commit to doing the high leverage tasks early in the day before you even think about moving on to low leverage activities. 2. Structured focus. We live in a world of many distractions. Text messages, emails, phone calls, television, coworkers, friends, family, all pulling us in different directions, stealing our mental energy and dramatically reducing our ability to be effective. It's unlikely that you will permanently escape these distractions, but you can eliminate them for short periods of time, and this is essential for maximizing your focus and thus your ability to accomplish major goals. What I suggest is that you make certain hours of the day sacred hours, meaning that these hours have a very special purpose and are designated for you and your work and nothing or no one else. For example, your sacred hours can be from 8 to 11 every morning. This is when you, for example, write and do other important tasks. During this time, you should not be available for your friends, not even for your family unless it's an emergency, of course. These hours are for you and your work. Don't let your phone into the room or anything else that would distract you. Shut off your internet and focus intensely on the high leverage task for the day. As a result of using this structured focus method, combined with the 80/20 method, some people have witnessed 500% increases in their overall productivity. If you are just starting this method, I recommend doing 1-hour focus blocks. Schedule 1 hour every single day to focus on your one highest leverage task. As you exercise your focus muscle more and more, you will find it much easier to focus for longer periods of time. After a few weeks, try moving it to 2 hours, and then 3, and work your way up to 4 hours of uninterrupted focus. You'll surprise yourself with how much you can get done in such a short period of time when you are truly focused. Most people who try this report that they are able to accomplish more in 3 hours than they used to in a whole 8-hour workday. The truth is that your time is indeed sacred. Most people don't treat it that way, but time is the only thing you can never get back. Those 3 hours you just wasted on social media, you're never getting them back. The person who decides to use those 3 hours for high leverage activities instead is going to find himself miles ahead of his competition in a short time. The great thing about treating your time like it's precious is that you are rewarded with more time to enjoy yourself. The person who wastes their time finds themselves with not enough time to do the things they really want to do. But when you spend your time wisely and milk every second for what it's worth, you become extremely efficient and effective, which helps you achieve your goals quickly and gives you the peace of mind that can only be had from knowing you just had an extremely productive day. 3. Structured solitude. Productivity is important, but it cannot be sustained without proper recovery. The more you exert yourself, mentally or physically, the more recovery time you need. You must be very strategic about how you recover if you want to maximize your effectiveness. True rest and recovery is more than just getting a restful night's sleep. In today's world, we need more than just sleep. We are being bombarded with distractions everywhere we go, not to mention the electromagnetic radiation we get hit with constantly or the chemicals in the air that we breathe, the food we eat, and the water we drink. This drains our mental and physical energy very quickly. Most people are completely drained after just 8 hours at work, which is why they often come home, turn on the television, and zone out. Little do they know, the television is just one more form of distraction, and it drains them even more. 8 hours of sleep is not enough to recover from all this. We need a better strategy. It is exactly like the previously mentioned strategy of structured focus, except this time you are not required to actually do anything. Just like you should have a specific time every day to be productive, you should have a specific time every day to fully rest and relax your mind and body. If you do not properly recover every day, you are going to slowly drain yourself of your energy and eventually have what we call a burnout. You can completely avoid this if you schedule yourself some structured solitude. What does structured solitude look like? It is mostly up to you. However, if you want to fully rest and recover, Bo Norton recommends a time block of at least 30 minutes daily. During this time, you can do things like meditation, deep breathing, stretching, contemplation, taking a walk, sitting in the park, or anything that you find very pleasant and relaxing that involves only you. The key is to not feel as if you have to do anything in particular. This is your time. Make sure it is designated for you and you alone. Many people cannot stand being alone with themselves. This is a serious problem. If you cannot be alone with yourself, it means that you lack self-awareness. You are so caught up in the external world that you have completely lost touch with who you are. People who hate being alone are often very unhappy people. If you are this kind of person, don't worry. The solution is to simply make solitude a habit, even if you hate it at first. In time, you will find that it's not. 4. Measured progress. This is one of Bo Norton's favorite productivity hacks because it gave her such an amazing feeling of self-confidence. She feels as if nothing is out of reach anymore. Bo says, measuring my progress has made me want to move forward at an even more rapid rate. It has provided me with tons of motivation and momentum that fuels me every single day. As humans, we need our efforts to be validated in order for us to feel as if it is worth putting forth even more effort. We need to be congratulated and acknowledged for our accomplishments. The great thing is that we do not need to rely on someone else to pat us on the back and say, "You're doing great. Look at all the progress you are making. Keep going." No, because we can give ourselves this same validation by simply measuring our progress in a visual way. When we see the progress with our own eyes, it is an acknowledgement of our efforts. We feel like we have accomplished something and that it is our duty to accomplish even more. We want that line on the graph chart to go up even more. To see it fall would be devastating. After such a triumphant rise, we feel motivated to continue progressing. You can measure all types of things too. Keep yourself motivated. An example that Bo gave, I chart the number of words I write every day. I have 2 charts, one for daily words written, and one for cumulative words written. My chart started out very choppy. One day I'd write 500 words, the next day 2,000, the next day 0, and up and down I went. But by charting my progress, I motivated myself to be more consistent. Over time, the chart evened out and turned into a gradual incline. I used to average 1,000 words a day and now I average 3,000 with no extra effort. I continue charting my progress, which almost guarantees that my daily average will increase even more. Another example would be charting your weekly income. If you work a regular job, this amount might be the same every week, but I encourage you to do this charting exercise anyway. Why? Because when you can see your income in a visual way, you will be motivated to increase it. It doesn't feel so good to see the line on the graph stay flat. You want to see it rise. So, eventually you will be motivated to either find a better paying job or find ways on the side to make more money. Your income will go up as long as you chart it. Another common example of this would be a daily to-do list. Simply writing down tasks and crossing them off a list as you complete them is a way to measure your progress and motivate yourself. There are countless things you can measure: weight lost or gained, calories consumed, miles ran, steps taken, money made, customers acquired, tasks completed, etc. Figure out what the most important metrics are for you and begin to chart them on a graph. This is a simple way to naturally and effortlessly increase your productivity over time. 5. Strategic triggers. Pay close attention to the times when you are most productive. There might be some important clues that could teach you a lot about yourself. For example, I tend to be more productive when I have a cup of tea by my side. I don't even have to drink the tea. Just having it there is a mental cue that says, okay, time to get down to work. I've also noticed that I'm more productive in the mornings when it's quiet and when I have a nice view to look at. These things are all triggers that put your mind into focus mode. It is important that you determine what your triggers are too. Triggers can be purposely designed or they can be accidentally stumbled upon. You have to try different things to find out what works. To begin, think back on times when you were very productive. What kind of environment were you in? Were there people around? Was it morning or night? Was it raining? Was there music playing? These are possible clues that could tell you when you are most likely to be productive. If you know what these are, then you can duplicate them artificially if need be, and thus increase your productivity automatically. Some people are more productive when it's raining. The sound of the rain calms their mind and puts them into a flow state that allows them to accomplish things more effortlessly. Well, did you know there are several audios on the internet you can find for free that are just recordings of the sound of rain? Why not listen to these while you work? It's a simple adjustment that could make a big difference in the long term. Even if this little trick only increases your productivity by 5% daily, compounded over time, that's a huge increase. Figure out in what type of environment you are the most productive in and try to duplicate it as best you can. If you work better when it's dark, place blackout curtains in your office to block out sunlight. If you work better in tea shops, find an audio of tea shop sounds and play it while working. There are lots of little productivity hacks like this that you can use to optimize your environment. Get creative and see what works for you. Apply what you've learned. Wow, you've learned a lot today. I'm really happy to provide you with these awesome and simple productivity hacks. Capital I wouldn't recommend trying all of them at once. Just pick one or two and experiment with them. See where it takes you. Then come back and try to implement everything you have learned here. Don't be surprised if you increase your productivity 500% in just a couple months. Wishing you the very best. Peace.